Emmerdale spoilers: Alex left for dead, and Nicky are caught together. Alex is left for dead in a shock road accident on Emmerdale next week, but who is behind the wheel? The suspects are almost too numerous to count. Plus Samson is in for a shock when his cruel blackmail scheme against Noah is exposed. And Gabby and Nicky find themselves caught in the act after getting frisky in the kitchen. It's your lowdown on all the Emmerdale spoilers for the week of the 27th to the 31st of March, 2023. Two separate events are set to converge in dramatic fashion next week, as Alex's actions have big consequences. He'll be seen stealing from the pharmacy delivery man, only for Charles to then find the drugs in his car. As Alex makes a run for it, Charles gives chase and tackles him to the floor, the result being that Alex makes a full confession about his master plan. But as Charles attempts to call the police, Alex smashes his phone and makes off with his stash. Later on, Charles tells Naomi what's happened, but disappointed by her reaction. He grabs his keys and goes out for a drive. Unaware of all this, Billy and Dawn are at a hearing where the decision is being made about Lucas and Clem's custody. The judge states that the only way Alex can have his kids is if he turns up at the court to announce his desire. But, at that moment, Alex is in the process of committing his crime. Following his confrontation with Charles and his missed court appearance, Alex will be seen next by the side of the road on the phone to his cohort Claire. But when he hangs up and steps out into the road, he's hit by a passing car, the driver of which walks over to his lifeless body before turning and fleeing from the scene. Samson is reluctantly babysitting Esther, but when Sarah discovers that the youngster has a burning temperature, she's taken to hospital. Thankfully, Esther's condition soon improves, but Noah is disgusted by the praise Samson receives for saving his daughter's life. Later, Samson calls round to the house ostensibly to check on Esther's health, but really to just demand more money from Noah. And when he gets the cash he's after, Samson then reneges on his promise to spend more time with Esther, a decision that leaves Amelia devastated. Amelia's worry is that she won't now be able to pay for Esther's childcare, but when she makes a financial request of Noah, he lashes out and accuses her of treating him like a cash machine. Witnessing the argument, Charity determines to get to the bottom of the situation, the result being that Noah admits to his mum about the blackmail scheme and the fact that his inheritance has now gone. Once confronted by family and friends, Samson then tries to wriggle off the hook. But an ashamed Sam orders him to find somewhere else to live. Nicky's contract is up for renewal, so Kim has a big decision to make, and after discussing his employment with both Gabby and Dawn, she decides to make Nicky a permanent employee. When Dawn and Kim then leave, Gabby and Nicky are quick to head upstairs and celebrate. But when Gabby suffers a sudden wave of nausea, Nicky takes care of her, and it's clear to them both that their relationship is getting more serious. Subsequently, the pair decide to make the most of having the house to themselves and get steamy in the kitchen, only for Caleb to catch them in the act. Nate has a suspicion that Mackenzie cares more for Chloe and the baby, and, before too long, the dad-to-be is wondering whether he has a point. Later on, Chloe reveals that she's having a boy and shares a charged moment with Mac when he feels the baby kicking. But following this, Mac will go on to argue with Chloe about his involvement in the baby's life, with Nate left unconvinced by what his friend has to say for himself. Mandy is supporting Paddy as best she can, while also being excited about her invite to some upcoming beauty awards. As she readies herself for her glam day out, Paddy heads off to see his daughter Eve. When the youngster doesn't want to spend the day with him, poor Paddy is left heartbroken. The big question, though, is whether Mandy will opt to be there for her friend or decide to go to the awards too instead.